What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy J Dub, the number one comment on YouTube, and I'm back with another review. Today, I will be reviewing Real Housewives of Potomac. This is season 7. This is episode 13. Before I get started, for those who don't know, I do uh, reviews on reality TV shows. I may not hit every single scene, but I try to pick up the important details or pick up some details that you may have not. But as I said in my intro, I am YouTube's number one commenter. So this channel is all about the comments. I need to hear what you got to say. The model of this channel is say what you say. All I ask is that when you get in the comments, just be respectful. Because why? You're amongst the Dub fam, and we respect each other. Say what you want about anything you feel like something. Talk about me renting a $10, I said $10,000 a month mansion and putting all the money in renovations, then getting evicted from it. Say what you want, but just keep it respectful. So let's go ahead and get started, because in this one, I got a whole lot of notes on this one. And I would say, Real Housewives of Potomac is a little near and dear to my heart. Why? Because your boy J Dub is from this area. Potomac is a little ways from me, but, about a 45-minute drive. But, it still feels close to home. And that's why I'm a little hard on it. People know I'm very critical of things, and I be on stuff, and I'm a little hard on them because I'm expecting more. But let's get started, because I got a lot to say. We start off the episode with Karen and Ray. I said it before. I think Karen just needs to go ahead and retire the Black Bill Gates, because at this point he's getting older and older in every scene. Let that man live out his last years how he want to do it. However that is. Whatever that looks like, golf, watching TV, or whatever. Not playing for this TV show. The man don't even put an undershirt on no more under his shirts, and it's getting out of hand. But anyway, and I have to say something about Karen's home. In real life, when you see her home, that's what the real Potomac looks like. It's like old school, old kind of money, all brick pretty much. Huge land, large grand rooms, or whatever. The house might be made in 1980 or 70 or whatever, but it's still official. And that's what you look for. Everybody you see pretty much on this show doesn't live in Potomac. And that's what Potomac looks like. I don't care what Tommy from Ready to Love say. We got 16 sexy singles coming out of Potomac. No, sexy singles normally can't afford to live in Potomac, and nor do they want to, because his family's there. But okay, the Grand Dame tells Ray that her and Ashley, or she's going to assist Ashley in preparing for her birthday party down in Mexico, and they're going to go a little bit ahead of the other girls because they want to kind of keep things in order, have things prepared for them so they can keep the drama down. Because it's like on all girls trip, they fighting over who got the biggest room and who got this, who didn't do that, and all that kind of stuff. So, I get that, because on the girls' trip is always drama. Always. It's never a peaceful girls' trip. So, we see Giselle. She's on the phone with her BFF, Robin, and she's discussing her struggles, middle-aged woman problem. She's dealing with fibroids. Not that only middle-aged women get fibroids, but it's gotten so bad that she pretty much has to have a hysterectomy. And that's something, but that ain't really what she called about. She really called to talk to Robin about Karen's party and how bad it was. And I get that is a thing for them, because Karen pretty much sneaked their whole party, just dropping a little shade or whatever, how this ain't that and this ain't this. I actually like Giselle and Robin's little podcast thing better than Karen. That wasn't about nothing, but that they also got gossip about, Giselle has an issue with Karen not inviting Charisse to her event. I mean, I'm thinking it's her event. Why does she have to invite Charisse? But I guess it kind of stuck out because Karen invited all the girls, and then all the old housewives who used to be on there. And it was like, you really left her out on purpose. And Karen, the new Karen, don't really tell it like it is. So she's like, oh, I forgot, or something like that. But, I don't want to talk about Charisse for real. Why am I seeing Charisse on my screen for real? I don't understand it. Charisse's time has passed. And I don't know what agreement she has. I guess with Bravo or whatever. I guess she's a friend of the show. And I guess Giselle has a problem with Sharice not being there because when you're a friend of a show, when you're not on an episode or you're not in scenes and stuff like that, they don't pay you. Unless you're a steady, regular housewife with a contract, you don't get paid if you're not there. So, yeah, I mean, it's a big thing. But just like Giselle and Karen or Karen and Sharice, they have beef in real life. They got real beef. Giselle, deep down inside, wants to be Karen's friend so bad. I guess she wanted to be like back in the day, like 20 years ago when they used to be the three amigos and hang out and do everything. It was a community situation. I don't even know if Sharice still lives in Potomac. We don't know nothing about Sharice now. All I know is about her past. Her husband left her, lived in another state with his girlfriend, tried to take all the money. I don't know what she got in the divorce. Is she still rich anymore? I doubt it, but, Sharice is a friend of the show, and she shouldn't be that. She's tired. But, yeah, Giselle won't let it go because, like, Giselle one of those people, and this is, like, how people are, some people are. Like, they'll dog you out in life, but in their heart of hearts, they feel like everything is all good. Like, Giselle forgets, like, she put, like, a printed T-shirt of, about Karen's tax problems and calling her husband Uncle Ben and her husband cheating. Also, when, I guess, at their lowest point, Karen had to move into a rented house like Mia out in Vienna, Virginia. I thought the house was actually an upgrade. It was lovely, I guess, but it's so far from Potomac, they can't be in a mix like that no more. And now Karen and the Black Bill Gates are back on their feet. They back in Potomac, and it's all good. I mean, but when at my rental house, you act like you're a pizza delivery man and play on my door and leave pizza on my step and all that. Like, people don't forget stuff like that, especially at low times. It's like you're kicking a person when they're down, and that's not cool. And yeah, rightfully so. I don't think Karen is over that, but apparently Giselle is. But they'll never be real friends again, so she ruined that. So we see Robin. Robin is at home with her common law family at the house, and she trying to do the A Bay Bay dance. When you walk across your walk across your feet like you gliding or whatever. I miss that dance. You see it on the internet all day, every day. You want to do it, but the fact is, it's time for a sit down. They sitting down with their boys, her and Juan, and letting them know, like, we've been engaged for a couple of years, so it's time to get married. And one of their sons said, like, hey, well, I thought y'all was just going to get married. I didn't know we was doing a wedding. So, I mean, I guess that would make sense or whatever. And Robin told the boys that they're doing a destination wedding and asked them, like, hey, where you think we should go? What we going to do? And one of their sons said something very realistic. It's like, what, the four of us? Let's go to Jamaica. And then she's like, wouldn't you just rather have a wedding in Maryland and go to Chesapeake Beach or Bay or whatever? I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, if y'all don't know, that's like we're Ready to Love, where housewives, they go to have their little resorts or their retreats. It's probably about an hour and a half away from, and it's like, let's say it's a cheap beachfront or waterfront property that you can swim in at your own risk, but you don't want to. It ain't no place to be or hang out or do. It's just that if you're a water person, it's great just to have and look out, but like nothing fancy. Because if you planning an extravagant destination wedding or whatever, no, not at all. No, not at all. People go to Chesapeake Bay or beach, like they go to eat crabs and stuff like that, or hang out in the dirty beach for a day or something. Like, no, like it's absolutely ridiculous. So I get it. Robin may be a little short on funds. She just bought a house. And apparently she's going to need it because they wrapped up in a scandal where I don't think she's coming back or they can't come back. Who knows? They kind of take a spin or a narrative on that, but I ain't going to get into all that right now. But yeah, they're not going to Jamaica. They're going to Chesapeake Beach or Bay or whatever. So I'm like, well, I'm going to say at least all isn't lost because it's a tailor that's coming to their house, and they're going to fit Juan and the boys for custom fitted suits. So, well, at least they're going to look good in the pictures. They're going to be right. And even their sons kind of clown Juan for like his NBA draft suit. It was like 5 times too big or whatever. And Warren explained, that was a different time back in the day. Back in the day, we wore everything baggy. I don't care what it was, a suit, a tie, some jeans, whatever. Everything's baggy. So I just, I'm surprised that the time is here. I didn't ever think that it was actually going to get married for real. So if they doing all this, so we got to be close. But Robin's kind of understanding, like through the Taylor, like she wants that done like in 40 days. And the Taylor's like, that's kind of tight or whatever. She's realized like I'm still working. I have other things to plan and do. Like maybe this ain't the best time, but she's going to go forward. So let's go on over let's go into the real Potomac. And we at Mia and Granddaddy G's house. They at the rented mansion or whatever. And they're discussing, business with the clinics that they opening and kids business. So Mia's in her CEO mode and she's, I guess, trying to figure out how and when all these clinics are going to open. But, however, is interfering with her mommy duty. So she wants Granddaddy G to go ahead and take the cupcakes that she was supposed to drop off at his school. And G like, I ain't got to be there. I can drop them off. And she's like, no, well, I was going to be there. So I need you to be there. And that's just a prime example of like an older man marrying a younger woman. That's what it looks like in the future, especially if you have kids. Like G want to be just like G wants to be just like the Black Bill Gates, retired, chilling out. He don't want to be in no second grade class playing cupcakes and singing happy birthday and all that. No 60-plus-year-old man wants that. Anyway, now with this situation, we're finally getting to see like Mia's real life. It's starting to get real because there's so many times in reality TV, things aren't real. She's got a situation with her best friend Jacqueline where Jacqueline is kind of taking advantage of Mia. Surprisingly, Mia's nanny is actually Jacqueline's blood sister. So Mia kind of extended a courtesy to Jacqueline saying like, hey, you having trouble finding a babysitter? I guess she would, like she's going through a divorce and everything. And Mia's saying like, hey, bring your kids with my kids when the nanny's there or whatever, because what's the big deal? Because in real life, it's like 3 sisters in between each other. Just one is working for them. And the thing is, Jacqueline is taking advantage in a way that she's dropping them off there all the time. And Mia's like kind of feeling that pressure, thinking like, hey, you kind of taking advantage of me. And those type of things you have to get off your chest because they will explode later. And we're going to get into that because that's the thing. Nobody in any situation wants to feel like they're being taken advantage of, regardless of the relationship. So at this point, all the ladies are kind of getting themselves together to head down to Mexico for Ashley's birthday. And Karen, she's going with Ashley as well as Wendy. They're going to go a little bit ahead of the rest of the ladies. And they're already there, meaning Karen, Ashley, and Wendy, they getting things together to wait. So, but the last group, which consists of Candace, Mia, Jacqueline, Giselle, and Robin, and I forgot Sharice. We always forget Sharice. I see why Karen do it, because like, why is she even coming? Anyway, the late arrivals, they actually on the plane getting into a big fight, and it was actually funny. What was so funny was like, because of course they can't really film on the plane while it is going on. They put their talking heads on seats on a plane like in a cartoon, and they going back and forth like what I was just talking about. That situation with Mia and Jacqueline just exploded because at this point, maybe Mia said something like passive aggressive towards Jacqueline, saying like, hey, you can't really leave your kids like that, because it came down to a situation when all the girls was at Karen's event. Granddaddy G came over and told Mia that like, hey, the nanny is saying they looking for Jacqueline's kids. And I mean, I didn't think it was crazy to say like, Mia, like, why don't you just tell Jacqueline she's sitting right next to me? Right? Why are your kids missing, or why aren't they where they supposed to be? And that's her sister. So I'm thinking like, why the sister ain't call her? But who knows? It's just like a weird and crazy dynamic that's unfolding. It's just, that's why I say it's really starting to get real. They got a lot of history and toxicity in that relationship. And they trying to act like they besties and sister wives and all that. There's something going on there. But yeah, they just had a full blown argument, just all on the plane, acting ghetto and first class, which is a problem. And that from there on, you could just tell like the tension is just like thick, and it's just pretty awkward. But Mia, I guess she's good at masking things, so she'll just act like everything is all right. So the ladies made it safely to Mexico. They ride in the van trying to get to the hotel, and the host Ashley, Karen, and even Wendy, because they kind of keep Wendy close because they didn't want Wendy to kind of mix with the group because she got troubles with different ladies in the group, which I thought was smart. They waiting in the Wendy and them waiting in the lobby, shaking the caracas or whatever they doing, just welcoming them, and it was cute. And they actually didn't go up to their rooms; they went straight into a party room where they surprised Ashley with a birthday party, which I thought was nice because it was looked like something that was thrown together quickly in like a little like a guest suite or conference area, but they had nice little hors d'oeuvres and food and all of that, and Ashley seemed surprised. So I'm thinking like, oh, this is kind of going a great start, And Karen made a point to say that's what you do for the birthday girl in the beginning. You celebrate her birthday, because Karen's referring to when she went to Miami and it was supposed to be about her birthday, and it was a tough time. They had all kind of drama before, like they didn't want to really celebrate Karen's birthday like that, everybody. But they at the party seemingly having a good time. As I tell you, could feel the tension between Mia and Jacqueline. And, it just, the beef just, it got taken to another level. When the ladies want to, ask questions with Mia and Jacqueline about like how they was fighting and all that kind of stuff. Mia's kind of downplaying, and I get that part. Like, that ain't the time and the place to really hash that out, because it can get explosive, and the tension is high. The wounds are still raw. But no, the ladies kind of insisted on that. Like, they want to talk about it. And Jacqueline mentioned, like, this was absolutely the worst fight that they had. Mia's like, oh no, we sisters. We had all kind of fights before. But then Mia was like, no. This wasn't the worst. The worst fight we had when you threw a brick at my head. I'm like, what? And with me and Jacqueline, everything that they did bad in a deviant way is, oh, that was 20 years ago. Like, in real life, 20 years ago, 20 years before, after, whatever, you throw a brick at somebody's head, however old you are, if that brick connect, you could kill that person. It's that simple. It's that serious. And come to find out, Jacqueline threw a brick at Mia's head over not letting her copy her math homework or something like that. Like y'all got some real ish going on. I mean, this is crazy, And to me, this is my opinion, Jacqueline threw the lowest blow when Mia mentioned that, like, Jacqueline said, like, well, oh, you don't know how to parent, or you don't know how things work because it takes a village. And I'm like, damn. Like, people might think like, oh, she just was saying it or lashing out. Like, to say that to a child that was abused and had two drug-addicted parents abandon them pretty much, or had a state take her from them and have to be displaced. Like, we don't know all the hells and terror Mia had to deal with. When you say that, when you were like one of the closest people to her, that blow is so low. Like, if I was Mia, when I heard something like that, I would be done, because I know that this person does not care about me to say something like that. Like, that was dirty. I mean, it like kind of hit me that she said that. But, Mia felt that. Mia was hurt by that when it was said. And now, Mia's going on her low blows or whatever. And at this point, all bets are off. The gloves are off. And, at one point, Jacqueline just like jumped. Well, not to get that. Jacqueline was pretty much saying that Mia was D deprived. That's why Mia was acting nasty or funky or whatever. And then Mia threw back at her and said, well, I guess you ain't D deprived with all the D's you be on. And Jacqueline was like shocked. Like, oh, you want to do this or whatever? She said, yeah, keep your leg. Mia said, keep your legs closed to married men. She's like, oh. Like, everybody was shocked. And then they was instigating, like, married? Oh, you dealing with married men or whatever? Even Sharice, pig face, got to, married and all that. I'm like, well, y'all need to stop that. I mean, y'all really need to stop that. And Jacqueline was blown away, like, oh my God, you really did this. You like threw away our friendship for just to, I guess, upset me or whatever. I mean, it was nasty. And Jacqueline jumped up like she ready to fight Mia. And as much as I don't like Candace for my own reasons, I hated Candace in this moment. She like, no! It's a new generation that believes that they can diffuse a fight by either hollering or twerking in between the people. I would rather see Candace twerk a little flapjacks in front of them before I hear her screaming, because that can incite people. That's a heightened situation. You screaming no, and like that can make things worse. I didn't like that. It's a weird thinking of a different generation. So, they separate them or whatever. And I mean, it's bad. I mean, I feel bad because like in real life, Jacqueline, like, I'm done with her. I'm done. And Mia's good with that. And then here comes annoying Candace again. No, go over there. Go over there to your sister. Go over there. That is your best friend. I'm like, sit down. You making it worse. They need to cool down if they're going to try to put this back together. They forcing it. And Mia is mad as hell. And I know she's hurt deep down inside. That's where her hurt is coming from, because she's sure she feels betrayed. Like, Jacqueline don't care nothing about her. And then now Jacqueline is feeling the same. They didn't cut each other with their words. And like Jacqueline said, the friendship is pretty much in the trash can. It's done. So I guess to kind of bring a peaceful moment to the situation, it was already planned. The ladies go out on the beach and they are meeting with a shaman, to get their spirit cleansed and all of that, to get all rid of the negative energy. Now, Confessional Karen is different from the Grand Dame. Confessional Karen tells it like it is. She went straight in on Sharice. She like, what is Sharice doing? That little leprechaun, is she over here begging for food or begging for friendship? Girl, stop. And I mean, I feel the same way. And it was funny as hell for her to say that. And I'm like, thank you, Confessional Karen. Confessional Karen gonna tell you exactly how it is. But Candace over there still trying to play peacemaker after they finish the session, like telling Mia, go over there, hug her. And crazy enough, Mia is going to hug Jacqueline. Jacqueline like, no, you see? Because I believe, and this is my opinion, that Mia can kind of detach from that. Like, she's already like, I don't know how much you can really hurt Mia. Mia's been through hell and back, more than we know about it. And Jacqueline's done. But she was willing to hug her. But at the same time, the situation is really done. I don't know if they could ever really come back for it. I don't know. Because they're both really, really, really hurt by that. Candace trying to put them back together reminds me of people who try to put Mel and Martell from Love and Marriage Huntsville back together. They just want to put the toxic pieces back together. And no, that's just not good. It's everything don't need to be back together. Sometimes things get fractured or people get separated for a reason. So anyway, the ladies are doing a group dinner or whatever. And, we see something that kind of weirded me out, but I could see it was already leading to that. Ashley is actually having second thoughts about not divorcing Michael. And I'm like, yikes. Like, in real life, Ashley is that young that she don't think she can make it on her own or do better. She's already been separated from Michael. She was no longer living in a condo in Arlington. She was in Alexandria living on her own, but not living on her own because Michael was still taking care of her without kids. Michael should have ran then. And I'm not saying Michael's a great catch or whatever, but There's nothing healthy about their relationship. We go back and see Ashley before, how she's saying Michael's like screaming at her in front of the children and just lashing out at her, and like she wants to, like, I don't know if she's stuck or she's just living under her control. I don't even know if Ashley's ever lived by herself at any time at all. And it's scary that like she really thinks that going back with this man is going to be good. She don't see that she got them 2 kids. She's always connected and her security is met. But again, people's pain and trauma run deep. So I just don't know. I just don't know. So just looking at the ladies, how I speak sometimes, Jenny, I'm like, oh, the ladies look nice, or they look. This franchise right here is definitely what I say the opposite of what a housewife should be. I understand we're not looking at the housewives of Beverly Hills with mega $100 million budgets and all that kind of stuff, but like these ladies look cheap. These ladies look old. These ladies, not all of them, but I'm just saying, I'm not saying all of them, not all of them. So I'm just going to group them. And you're not supposed to generalize, but I'm going to generalize instead of singling them out. I need more. I need more. Some need to go and some can stay. But I need more. Because if not, we just looking like we looking at the Golden Girls or something just regular. Again, I want to see luxury. I want to see opulence. Bravo is paying for this vacation, so you need to do it up. I'm not saying that. It's like regular women I'm looking at on vacation. They just having some dinner. No. It's millions of people with eyeballs in them. I want to see something that like, oh, they're living the good life. Whether it's real or not, that's what I want to see. I don't want to see no regular. But, at this point, when that drama always kicks off when somebody's throwing gasoline on the fire. And Giselle did just that. Of bringing up that Charisse was kind of trying to get at Karen for not inviting her to her event by putting a video of Mia and Karen with their nipples out in Miami because they was drunk. And you can see Charisse like, come on, Giselle, like, what are we doing here? You trying to start something or whatever? And then Charisse tried to explain, so, well, I didn't really put it out to get back at you. I knew you may not have liked it, but and then Karen just get into, the grand dame form. Like, well, hey, that could have been a time we could have actually, had a little laugh and a little bonding moment or whatever. Being fake and phony. That's what the grand dame is doing. I used to love Karen, but she's changed and changed for the worse. And at this point, it gets broken down with Charisse saying, like, I really would respect you if you just tell me you didn't want to be my friend. And guess what? Charisse is 100% right. Karen does too much faking. She'll act sick. She'll retreat or whatever. Tell Charisse, you ain't got to explain to her, hey, it was good 20 years ago, but it ain't good now. And I ain't got to explain. But that ain't what the grand dame do. She deflects. And then she get at the point where she telling Charisse, like, well, hey, you around here begging for my friendship. Like, everybody like, oh my goodness. And at this point, like I said, I was asking for Confessional Karen to come out because Confessional Karen will tell it like it is. She'll talk about how Robin ain't never getting married. She faking and cussing and all that kind of stuff. I like Confessional Karen. But we got something a little different at this dinner. This was razor sharp tongue Karen. I mean, she get at Charisse's throat. I mean, when I say she get at her throat and just telling like, listen, ain't nobody be even talking about your ass for years. You like irrelevant. I'm like, damn. I mean, and then look, in the mix of the argument, Karen checked Giselle trying to say, like, oh, she did come to your mother's funeral. She said, you need to calm down. I was like, damn. I mean, like the way she checked her, she handling that table. And I mean, just at this point, Karen is just like, hey, I ain't got to be your friend. I sent you a message when your father passed or whatever, and that's all I needed to send you. And I had gone through things with my parents or whatever. And what did you come and do? And Charisse was like, I drove down to, be with, your family in the funeral. And then Karen just lost it at that point. To me, it was like Karen want to get something off her chest, so she got to make it something else. She's like, oh, don't you talk about my mother. No, Charisse was just saying, like, I came to support you, and then Karen was like, oh, you can't just like come to my mother's funeral to try to get back in this group. And I do believe Sharice is trying to get back in this group, but do I believe she did that, came to Karen's mother's funeral to do so? No. But Karen just like lost it. Like you couldn't say nothing to Karen. Like she was, if Sharice said, oh, we had speculation you had a boyfriend, don't you dare talk about my husband. That's the black Bill Gates. You know, it was like that. On those type of things, you either have to engage or completely retreat. Because Karen had the devil in her eyes, you know, and Sharice was there for it. They banging on the table and jumping up. And I mean, Wendy was trying to calm the fight, then start laughing. I'm like, come on, Wendy, like you doing too much or doing both. You know, one minute you trying to stop it, but you antagonizing the fight. But it was so much chaos, it didn't matter. I bet you they didn't hear nothing because they both jumped up and Giselle said something funny and something I was wondering, like, what in the geriatric fight am I looking at? Why are these ladies fighting in real life like they too old to be doing it? But Karen wasn't having it. I'm surprised she ain't try to flip the table. She might have broke her wrist if she did. But Sharice was with it too. And that was the end of it. And no, we didn't need to see that kind of thing going on. But obviously there's some bad blood on Karen's side. And she didn't have it. She didn't have it up to here. And it's done. So it's a to be continued. So we'll see what happens next day. I didn't see any previews of next week, so I don't know what's going to happen. But probably Jacqueline and Sharice, somebody need to go home or go into separate hotels. Karen had the devil in her eyes. So this was a little long. Drop down in the comments. I don't usually do a 30-minute housewife, but let me know what you think. Something you want to add. Something I might have missed. And as I always tell y'all could be anywhere in this YouTube world, but you're here with me. I really appreciate it, and I really mean it.